Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to my room. So today I'm going to try a new video format, so leave a comment down below and let me know if you prefer this style of content or if you would like me to return to single story videos. I only have the time to upload once a week because I don't do this full time and the news cycle moves faster than the speed of light multiplied by itself, and I feel like I can cover more ground by bringing multiple stories to you at once. So let me know if you like this style of content or if you would like me to deep dive into any single story in particular. Now let's get into it. First of all, the Proud family goes woke, Vice takes another L, and woke people get flabbergasted in real time. The Legend of Zelda has released the latest trailer of Tears of the Kingdom and I'm indifferent about it. Hogwarts Legacy continues to be in the news because of a failed boycott. And finally, YouTuber Onision is being sued in Florida for grooming, and YouTube and Google are also under fire. What does that mean for YouTubers going forward? All of that and more coming right now, so hit the subscribe button and don't forget to eat today. So the Proud family was taken over by Black Lives Matter movement and they're spreading misinformation into the eyes of children. Take a look.
Built this country, and we, the descendants of slaves in America, have earned reparations for their suffering
and continue to earn reparations every moment we spend submerged in the systemic prejudice, racism, and
white supremacy
that America was founded with and still has not atoned for.
Slaves built this country.
Now I'm not gonna play the whole thing because there's only so much cheese I can stomach before I start getting constipated, but if you want to see the whole trailer for some ungodly reason, I will link it in the description. But notice how the white girl didn't say shit. She just held up the signs because she's white and isn't allowed to speak on black issues. They talk as if they were the only ones enslaved, but slaves were sold to the whites by other Africans, bro. Like slaves who were freed went on to be slave owners themselves. It's just what people did back then. So you don't get reparations for something that happened 200 years ago. I'm sure other people are gonna make that very obvious point, so I'll establish that as a hard no and just move on. As for systemic injustice today, now I'm not saying that there aren't racist people that exist. They exist everywhere. There's racist white people, racist black people, racist Jewish people. No one's more racist than an Asian, but that's besides the point. Systematic injustice no longer exists, or you wouldn't be allowed to even comment on it. BLM would not be allowed to riot in the streets in the midst of a white supremacy nation. They would just round you all up and gun you down with zero regard for human life. But that doesn't happen, does it? We have black billionaires in this country. Look at the music industry and look how many black people are rich as hell bragging about being rich as hell. You don't think that wouldn't be possible in a white supremacy nation? Freaking hell no! And by the way, I've seen the amount of money black people are demanding in these reparations, and it's in the ballpark of around like $5 million per black citizen. I think. Let me look that up. I need to look that up. I want to verify this. How much is the reparations? Docs.house.gov says after reparations, studies suggest 151 million for each African American. Holy fuck! Jesus Christ, bro. What in the goddamn? And experts say money alone isn't enough. Of course it's not. Of course it's not enough. It's never gonna be enough. No matter what you give them, they're always gonna be demanding more. That's why you don't give them shit. Because no matter what happens, they're not gonna be happy. That is ridiculous, dude. I thought it was gonna be 5 million. I thought it was 5. I did not know it was $151 million per black person. Whew. Now it's definitely a no. Like, fuck that. Like, all you want to do is be a millionaire for free. And let me tell you something, folks. I'm gonna trail off here for a second, but I'm gonna come back. A millionaire has a particular mindset, and it's a learnable mindset, but it has to be learned. Poor people are poor because they have a poor mindset. It doesn't matter what color of skin you have. If you have a poor mindset, you will remain poor. If you develop a rich mindset, you will become rich through your own efforts. However, if you give a poor person with a poor mindset a lot of money, it only ever leads to chaos and self-destruction. That's why lottery winners end up broke in literally no time flat, because they have no idea what to do with the money other than spend it.
When he won $19 million playing California's Super Lottery game. But he quickly went from winner to loser. His ex-wife reportedly took half the jackpot money, and Haynes developed a heroin habit costing him $1,000 a week. He then resorted to robbing banks to keep up his lifestyle. The FBI nicknamed him the PT Cruiser Bandit and the Seasoned Bandit because of his car and gray hair. In 2018, Haynes pleaded guilty to bank robbery and was sentenced to 33 months in prison. Of course, by that time, there was not $1 left of his earnings.
Now, if you give that type of money to every single black person in America, where is that money gonna come from? Taxes? So our taxes are gonna skyrocket because you're too stuck in the past and incapable of moving on. Who gets the money? Do black conservatives get reparations too, or just people who agree with you? Do rich black people get an extra 151 mil, or is it just the poor? If you give 100 million poor people $151 million of taxpayer money, what do you think the future is gonna look like, given what we've already established? Like, do you think the crackhead wandering the DC ghetto was gonna start a stock portfolio, or is he gonna buy $151 million worth of crack and end up killing himself? These people are incapable of critical thought. They just want free fucking money. And and now they're teaching our children to become beggars to BigDaddy.gov. This is what the Proud family is doing right now. Don't go out and earn your way by working hard. Go to the government and beg for welfare. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the entire Democrat basically caucus in Congress literally bent the knee to George Floyd and to Black Lives Matter. Like, they quite literally did that.
And that was a bad thing?
I think it was a stupid thing.
What the fuck? So I wanted to talk about this guy. His name is Vince Dow. He's an Asian conservative commentator. I'll link his channel in the description below. I was actually surprised by his content because his online personality is different from the way that he carried himself in his Vice performance. He was very calm, poised, and came with the facts. And you can literally see the woke left start to malfunction in real time. Here, take a look.
People are taught to work hard in school, not get into trouble. I think that translates to why Asians en masse are successful. And I don't think you have to be Asian or white for that matter to not have kids out of wedlock, not, commit crime, not cause trouble or whatever it is. It's just a matter of common sense. That's what makes people successful. And if that's so-called assimilation, having a nuclear family, buying a house, going to school, whatever it is, then yeah, okay, call me a pro-assimilation then.
Now, everything he's saying is, of course, 100% accurate, and all he's doing is pointing out the data. They don't even want to hear it.
Trouble, whatever it is.
They're so taken aback, and it really tells you a lot, because this is the reason conversations are unable to happen, because the woke mob is so often fueled by raw emotion that they're literally incapable of doing anything other than trying to shut down the conversation as a whole. They would rather sit there, mouths agape, at the sheer mention of the truth than to engage in any sort of political debate. When you start to challenge various beliefs, the programming triggers an emotional response because the facts don't support their entire ideology. So they have no argument other than to call you some type of ist or phobe, though I'm sure you already knew that. When you shut down a conversation, all it does is drive a wedge between the parties and drive people further apart. Conversation needs to happen. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Link is in the description for the full Vice panel if you're interested in watching that. Also, I'm just going to say this. I think it's really stupid that Vice always has these panels of like 10 people and there's only ever 1 or 2 conservatives at the most, and they're surrounded by like 8 liberals. So oftentimes the conservative person feels like they're being ganged up on because they don't have any backing support other than the truth and the data that they come with already mentally prepared, which oftentimes is enough. But then they sit there for like 6+ hours and then the whole panel gets shaved down to like 45 minutes and all of the conservative talking points get shut down as much as possible. And then it's like they're priming the viewer to think like the liberals. So they have this conservative person who is viewed as the bad guy like immediately, and then they try to prime the viewer to think that way too. And more often than not, it backfires. But I think it's really stupid that Vice does that.
So yeah, of course, it's frustrating because when we try to talk about it, we get shouted down, we get told to be quiet.
In video game news, if you guys couldn't tell by the background music, I'm a huge Zelda fan. I grew up with the series. I played every single game that's ever come out of the Zelda franchise to completion, with Breath of the Wild being the latest installment. Well, in about 3 months, they're releasing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is said to be the darkest Zelda game of its time, even darker than Majora's Mask, which references death and sorrow more often than a 24-hour news cycle. And they just dropped the latest trailer for the game, and here it is. Take a look.
Rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule. Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors.
Ganondorf's voice sounds dope, dude. Oh, shit.
Link, I am not sure you'll be able to stop him.
So my issue with this is the vehicle crafting. I think it's tacky, and if you're a fan of Zelda like I am, you already know that Epona is Link's horse, and Epona is iconic, and if you add vehicles, you are putting Epona out of a job, and that's not fair, because you're gonna have Epona at Lon Lon Ranch trading sexual favors for carrots, and that's not okay. But I will be playing this game, so I should probably schedule some videos to drop, because you will not hear from me for a while. Anyways, I just wanted to break the news cycle with something fun, kind of separate from the doom and gloom surrounding the rest of this video. And now we're back. back. If you want to anger the woke mob more than anything else, all you have to do is stream this game. It's called Hogwarts Legacy, and a vocal minority have been very vocal about this game. They don't want anybody playing it, which, of course, only made people want to play it more, because the woke mob is stupid and doesn't understand that bringing a ton of attention around a particular thing is only gonna draw traffic to that thing. And everybody on the internet likes to think they're rebellious to a degree, so if you tell them not to do something, they're only gonna want to do it more, myself included. That's why I like Andrew Tate so much. Y'all told me not to listen to that motherfucker, and that only made me want to hear everything he had to say. Same goes for this game. I didn't even know it existed before they tried to boycott it, and I don't even like Harry Potter, but I want to play this game now because it looks really cool. But heterophobes have been entering the live chats of streamers playing this game and bullying them into submission, which is kind of really funny because people take the opinions of pixels on a screen so seriously, bro. But Nepharius, you hide behind an anime mascot, you pussy. I use the anime self so I can make videos in my underwear, okay? This is for convenience, not protection. If you go to my music channel, my face reveal is plastered all over that shit. Also, hatred around this game and the players who played it have led to some pretty hilarious takes, like this person, Alana McLaughlin. Now, if you don't know Alana is a male military war veteran who decided that after serving the armed forces was now a trans woman and put on some boobs so he could compete in the UFC and MMA and beat up naturally born women. Just a background on this person for context. He says, quote,
"I'm sorry you were deeply invested in Wizard World as a child. I was deeply invested in the American Imperial War Machine as an adult. So much so that I killed for it and will spend the rest of my life trying to make amends. You're not a kid anymore. It's time to grow." What? Oh my goodness gracious. I wouldn't say these two are comparable whatsoever. My point was that I had a lot more invested in the Imperial War Machine than they did in Wizard Book, and asking them to do better shouldn't be impossible. Still weird to compare yourself joining the military-industrial complex to Harry Potter fans, lol. Okay. Now, the hate surrounding this game is fueled mainly by the gender identity movement and its allies because the creator of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, is, quote, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist, or a TERF, which is a term that autogynephiliacs made up to describe any woman who believes that there are only two genders. So since they couldn't prevent anybody from buying the game, they decided to sit at their computers for the rest of their lives, searching the game that's apparently causing them physical harm, and watching streamers playing the game that's apparently causing them physical harm, only to bully them into the chat and say as many mean things as possible, which I shouldn't have to say is probably against Twitch's terms of service, but since Twitch is owned by woke simps who won't even punish women fornicating on stream, it's probably safe to say that they aren't going to take any action against this obvious hate speech. I was honestly thinking about doing my live streams again just to play this game, so let me know down in the comments if that would be something that interests you. You know, I don't want to start going live again just to play to an audience of one, because I'm sure Jay would get pretty bored watching me play a video game. Just let me know. Now let's get to our main headline. Former YouTuber and child groomer Onision is finally being taken down. This is a 48-page federal lawsuit that has requested a jury, and it's safe to say that Onision is in hot water. This story was broken by Repzion, so I'll put a link to his video in the description. If you don't know Onision, I'm really sorry, but I'm about to corrupt your innocent mind. Onision was one of the OG YouTubers. I'll describe him as an evil Shane Dawson sometimes. He peaked at 2 million subs, which is a drop in the bucket by today's standards, but back then it was considered a lot. Like, if you look at any one of your favorite YouTubers today, they probably already hit 2 million, or they're probably pretty close to that. So it's not a lot by today's standards, but back then, when Onision was popular, 2 mil meant that he was one of the most influential people on the platform. He became famous from his videos like I'm a Banana.
Sky!
What, Greg?
I'm a banana!
You're a what?
I'm a banana!
What happened to your clothes?
I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! Look at me, man! Yeah, yeah.
That's enough of that. Yeah, YouTube was weird back then, but some of his videos turned out to be problematic. He's a problem. He had this one video where he would rate women's bodies, and he basically branded himself as being too honest for his own good, quote unquote. So he would look at these ladies and he would say things like, "Oh, you're hot, you're okay, you could probably stand to lose a few pounds, etc, etc." Well, as it turns out, some of the girls he was rating were minors. Not minors as in like a coal mine, but like children under the age of 18. What would happen is that his fan base had an online web forum similar to Reddit today, and his fans, who were mostly minors, would post pictures of themselves with his name written on their arm or some body part, and they would post pictures of themselves and say, "Rate me." And Onision received quite a lot of backlash for this, and his defense was that he didn't know that they were minors, even though one of the girls claimed to be 12 years old and he still put her picture in the video. video, but he said he wouldn't have done the video if he had known they were minors. But the video remained up as far as I know, and YouTube never took it down, which is why YouTube is also under fire. And Google is also being mentioned in the lawsuit, because a platform that claims to care so much about protecting children allowed a video where minors are being told they're fat to remain on the platform with zero action being taken despite the complaints. This is from Starcasm.net. The lawsuit is a civil lawsuit that was actually filed by one of Onision's victims, Regina Alonso. Survivor of online child sexual exploitation files groundbreaking lawsuit against YouTube and ex-YouTubers Onision and Kai. Now, if you don't know Kai, Kai is Onision's wife who decided that she was a boy and transitioned, probably for protection considering they've changed their name countless times. They being Onision and Kai, not just Kai. Sarcasm writes, 2 Florida law firms announced earlier today being the 8th, that they have filed a civil lawsuit against YouTubers James Jack Onision and Lucas Jackson Kai on behalf of Regina Alonso. The lawsuit also names YouTube's parent company Google and alleges that the platforms participated in the grooming and exploitation of their client by Onision and Kai when Regina was a child. Onision and his spouse openly groomed and exploited Regina when she was a child. The Haba law firm partner Lisa Haba states in the release that YouTube contributed to and profited from the enticement, grooming, and exploitation of children while promoting known predator and YouTube partner Onision. More from the press release, Onision and Kai illustrate how unmonitored online predators get away with sex trafficking ventures. As a society, we cannot stand by and ignore the predators targeting our children from a few clicks away. Despite numerous complaints about Onision, YouTube did nothing and continued to promote his deeply harmful online and offline behavior. YouTube could have prevented all of this harm, but it inexplicably racked up revenue and provided a sanctuary for Onision to lure, identify, and recruit vulnerable children for grooming and ultimately exploitation. We hope that Regina receives the justice she deserves and that this lawsuit will pave the way for other survivors to begin the healing process too. This is yet another example of the tech giants facilitating and activating the sexual abuse of minors. This has to stop. So yeah, they are going after Onision, they are going after YouTube, they are going after Google on 5 counts. Jesus Christ. Violation of the Trafficking Protection Reauthorization Act, benefiting from child trafficking, civil remedies for personal injuries related to possession and distribution of child pornography. Against Lainey. Okay, so this is against Onision's wife. Civil remedies for personal injuries related to possession and distribution of child pornography. Civil remedies for personal injuries related to sex trafficking. Civil remedies for personal injuries related to coercion and enticement. The lawsuit seeks damage in an amount to be determined at trial. I was gonna go through the whole article, but I don't want this video to be a half an hour long, so I'll link it in the description along with Repzion's video. What I want to talk about is YouTube's possible decision going forward and how they might react, and what that means for YouTubers going forward. Now, YouTube doesn't give 2 shits about children. They just don't, and no amount of convincing will persuade me to believe that they do. They have Drag Queen Story Hour, Elsa Gate 2.0, and bearded ladies talking about sex on YouTube Kids, the platform designed for children. So they don't care about kids. What they care about is losing money. We've had multiple adpocalypses already, where the ads have been pulling themselves off of YouTube because of certain creators who will go unnamed. COPPA has now become a policy, the Child Online Privacy Protection Act. Channels with young audiences have been hit no matter how wholesome they are, and if you even swear in the first 30 seconds of your video, your entire video gets demonetized. So YouTube is basically like, nah, motherfucker, if we losing money, you're losing money. Now, I don't know what YouTube's next move is going to be or how they're going to react to Onision's lawsuit that they're now a part of, but I'm going to say this, and this might be a hot take, but some responsibility needs to go on to the parents, okay? You need to be 100% aware of everything your child is doing online. Get their passwords, log into their accounts, and then monitor them. Oh, but that's a violation of their privacy. No. They have no privacy, okay? You are the parent. They have no privacy until they are 18, and then they can have all the privacy they want, but until then, you, being the parent, are solely responsible for what happens to your child. If your minor child falls victim to a sex trafficking scandal, it is absolutely your fault. That might be hard to hear, but it's true. YouTube can only do so much to protect your kids. So yeah, don't give your child privacy until they're 18.
What age does Greg think you are? Do you not realize how weird that is? Like, why is he... Would you rate me 1 to 10? Would Laney-bot date you? Hot or not, Laney-bot chooses. Mary, blah, blah. Are your boobs actually too small or big? What Onision's opinion of you? Would you date me? Makeup or no, hot or not? Show off your body abnormalities? What does Laney think about your body? God, I didn't even know about some of these videos. These were videos that were made on YouTube, okay? Do you not see the glaring problem with this?
So yeah, YouTube's main issue is that they're still pulling revenue from these videos, and that's why they're also in the lawsuit. YouTube has taken no action against these videos. I think they're still up on the channel. So YouTube needs to take these videos down, but as I mentioned before, they don't care about your children. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Repzion goes through the entire 48-page document, so if you're interested in seeing more, I'll put it in the description. If you're curious about where Onion Man is today, he's actually still uploading to his main channel out of Washington State with his spouse. He's taken to green screen vlog content as well as making music.
Everyone has problems, but when you have a problem, the world must stop for you. Everyone has problems, but the only ones that matter are all centered on you.
But his viewership has drastically reduced. Like, his sub count to view count ratio is just embarrassing to say the least. He consistently underperforms, and as he points out in this video,
I will never ever recover from this.
But his latest video was like 3 days ago and he's still uploading videos. Dude will be bankrupt very soon. Now let's get to the comment section. This one is from Jay, who I mentioned earlier. He's a day one from the music channel, so much respect to Jay. Woke movement is what happens when people that grew up idolizing their parents as protesters literally have nothing to protest, so they fabricate something. Exactly, a lot of these people are indoctrinated by their parents who share the same beliefs, and because parents are incapable of critical thought, the child will naturally follow suit until we reach a generation of socialists that just want BigDaddy.gov to hand them everything for free. And they're never happy. That's the fucked up part. They're never happy. You can give them an entire national park dedicated to Martin Luther King and they'll just erect another statue. This one is from Smug, who is a new subscriber to the channel, so welcome. It's good to have you on the team. Smug says, why did you make a video about this if you're just gonna regurgitate every norm you take I could literally think of? Your editing is good and your style of videos is good, but please talk about something else. Literally anything else. Edit. Okay, please don't talk about anything else. I'm excited for the gender identity video. Yeah, the woke culture video, that was mainly just to introduce my channel to the woke movement, so me talking about it suddenly doesn't look weird. So yeah, it was just a basic surface level video that a lot of people already knew about, but I plan to comment on the new happenings within the woke movement as a whole, so like the gender identity Tik Toks that are literally just teenagers wanting attention. But my main gripe with the gender identity movement is that men are invading women's spaces and exposing little girls to adult male genitalia, and when women complain about it, they're the ones who get penalized instead of the man. So men have figured out a way to oppress women again, having the backing support of new wave feminists, and it's super backwards. But I do plan on commenting on it, and I plan to make multiple videos about the gender identity movement because that whole movement is fucked up. There are actual trans people with gender dysphoria who hate the trans movement. We're gonna end this video by laughing at a trans person. that sounds bad, I know, but I want to start ending videos by reading your comments and then reacting to one or two woke TikToks. So here we go. This guy basically believes that his surgical wound currently replacing his penis is better than a natural vagina. The surgical wound that you have to keep open. The surgical wound that I can't imagine has any sensitivity, or at least not sensitivity rivaling actual vagina. Here it is.
People are really out here saying that trans is the inferior product. I'm sorry, we have the designer, expensive, bougie. Like, you're telling me if someone says, would you like this free paper bag that came with my groceries, or would you like this $35,000 bag? You're taking the designer Birkin, babe. Like, seriously, you're just mad because trans girls don't want to put trash like you in our designer bags.
I hate that word, coochie. Who decided that was a good word for female genitalia? Whoever invented that word needs to be publicly executed. Also, if the hole your surgeon drilled into the lower half of you is better, then why is it just an imitation? That's like imitation crab meat claiming to be better than actual crab meat. It couldn't be farther from the truth, and the only reason you made this TikTok is because your faux vagina probably looks busted up, and now you're snorting daily lines of copium. Anyways, that's it for this video. This is a long one, so I appreciate you guys sticking around. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And you can go to seekingthesoundinthegame.com to check out my merch collection, as well as play some of the video games that I've developed. They're free, and one is on Steam as a demo project. You can go to my music channel at Nepharius Music to see some tunes that I make in between videos. I often get bored and want to rap, so rap, I do. Feel free to check that out, and if you want to see my face for some ungodly reason, thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week. Breaking news! UFOs are being seen everywhere. Holy fuck. Why does this happen after my video? After I finish, god damn it. Maybe that'll be next week's video. Subscribe! After beefing with Asylum, they be chasing cheddar, but going vegan, it's all I'm seeing. And they playing catch-up, but always fiending, but never eating. And they hold the lettuce, but we be cheesing like hungry demons. And they never seem to know it, they leave it till they delete it. I'm controlling alternate personalities, split realities. My actuality is constructed by my mentality. My state of mindset is abiding to my lethality. I wouldn't try to test the mighty demons coming out of me like, huh! Next contender, not intending to be tender when I'm tending to your temper. If it's temporary, you're sort of scary, but not extraordinary. Promise nothing carries you, nothing out of the ordinary. More incendiary, I'll light it up till it blows shit. Put it moves in motion, competing with my own shit. Fam screaming, oh shit, Neff's a fucking dopest. So every time you come around, nobody seems to notice.